And now, ladies and gentlemen, the duplex is proud to present Amanda Andrews and Mark Langner in Brilliant But Off.
So I feel up and together and steady, eager, excited, so come on, I'm ready, ready for my time alive! You don't need to hear anything else? Okay, thank you for your time. Sorry. The girl in front of me in line got a call back, and she told me she moved to New York 2 weeks ago, and her music wasn't even in a binder. She sang Can't Say No from Oklahoma. I mean, who sings Can't Say No at an audition, am I right? But if that's the type of song you wanted to hear, I mean, I actually do know that song. I mean, truth be told, I actually love Can't Say No. Here, I'll just sing a few bars of it. I'm just a girl who can't say no. I'm in a terrible fix. I always say, come on, let's go. Just when I ought to say nix. When a person tries to kiss a girl, I know she ought to give his face a smack. But as soon as someone kisses me, I somehow sort of want to kiss him back. I'm just a fool. Oh, you don't want to hear any more? Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you. I mean, what am I doing wrong? I mean, what is this super basic 21-year-old have that I don't? And doesn't account for something that I'm offbeat and authentic and I can sing low. And I'm not just some cookie cutter, polished performer who can belt their face off. If I'm really being honest with you, every time I come to one of these auditions, I feel like I'm an awkward teenager all over again, desperately looking for somebody to have lunch with. I mean, these open calls are the worst. I get up at the ass crack of dawn just to wait around for hours with, quite frankly, very unpleasant people. And I spend money on a room to warm up in, and even more money on food to lift my spirits. And I spend time getting audition ready, all just to sing 16 bars for people who really couldn't care less. I mean, hello, I might as well sing to a brick wall. At least my voice would bounce better off of that than off of your expressionless faces. And I'll have you know, artistic director of Beef and Boards Dinner Theater in Indianapolis. I wait on famous composers and directors and writers all the time. In fact, just last night, Tommy Kail, or you might know him as Thomas Kail, director of Hamilton, amongst many other things, he said, I can't wait to see your work, buddy. Yeah, he calls me buddy. So I'm out of here. Fuck this. You're lost. I walked out of that audition at 12:35 and into the Houndstooth Pub at 12:40. Where I ordered a Bud Light and a shot of house whiskey, and became fast friends with Carl and the other 4 middle-aged alcoholics that occupied my bar on a Tuesday afternoon. We all have dreams, right, Carl? On May 28, 2013, I fulfilled a childhood dream of moving to New York City. I had a BFA that was only a year fresh, but don't worry, I haven't given up. Upon the trending advice to create my own work, I have taken it upon myself to write a show about this really crazy world that we are all living in and how I relate to it. All of these lines across my face tell you the story of who I am. So many stories of where I've been and how I got to where I am. But these stories don't mean anything when you've got no one to tell them to. It's true, I was made for you. I climbed across the mountain top, swam all across the ocean blue. You see the smile that's on my mouth. It's hiding the words that don't come out. All of my friends who think that I'm blessed, they don't know my head is a mess. No, they don't know who I really am, and they don't know what I've been through like you do. And I was made for you. You know, Carl, I was reading something interesting the other day. According to NAMI, the National Association of Mental Illness, 1 in 5 Americans suffer from a mental illness. That's a crazy statistic. And, it got me thinking, how can you really know? If I were to stumble out of this bar right now and fall and hurt my ankle, right? A doctor, well, assuming we lived in a time with affordable health care, a doctor could look at my ankle with an x-ray and tell me for sure if it was sprained or broken, right? But with mental health, there's no litmus test. I can't compare my mental experience to yours or to anyone else's. And I have no way of knowing how I'm supposed to feel, what normal is, right? Because the way I've always experienced this life is my normal, Yeah. But seriously, think about that. 1 in 5, anywhere you go. I mean, the DMV, Ripley Greer, the Trader Joe's wine shop. 1 in 5 people are walking around with a handicap or a struggle they might not even be aware of having. Carl, why are you on your phone? I'm talking about something very real. Don't act like you don't know anything about this. Well, okay, fine. I certainly know a thing or two about it. I had visions, I was in them, I was looking into the mirror to see a little bit clearer the rottenness and evil in me. Fingertips have memories, mine can't forget the curves of your body. And when I feel a bit naughty, I run it up the flagpole to see who salutes but no one ever does. I'm not sick, but I'm not well, and I'm so hot, 'cause I'm in hell. I'm not sick, but I'm not well, and it's a sin to live so well. Navigating my crazy ups and downs, as I always have, that's my normal, ups and downs, right? Ups are times when I get really obsessed or hyper-focused on something, and it completely consumes me. What was I thinking? Ordering a burger. I really need to start cutting back. My stomach is starting to fill out. And I knew that if I saw everybody else around me eating a burger, I was gonna want one, and then I'd start mooching off their fries, and I would just downward spiral. But I've just been out of control with my diet lately, and I didn't make it to the gym yesterday, so I really need to make sure I go back to the gym tomorrow because I can't be skipping more than one day of working out. I remember when I was my thinnest at 21. Man, I really peaked at 21. So I know what you're thinking, Carl. These ups sound really exhausting. That's because they are. But they are counterbalanced with debilitating lows. Lows are times when I just see sadness in everything, and I really just want to hide away from the world. Yeah, I'm just going through one of those times, you know, when everything just seems like more work than it's worth. You know, the times when a good day is finding the motivation to shower before work. I've been spending my days perched up on my loft bed, chain-smoking cigarettes out my window, literally watching the hours pass over the projects of Harlem. I'm sure it'll pass. I'm sure it has something to do with the weather. I hate when the sun is so goddamn glaring. You picked up smoking again, Amanda? I thought you didn't even like cigarettes anymore. Listen, have you ever thought about talking to somebody? These depressive episodes you get aren't normal. I'm just saying it could be really useful for you to see a professional. What do you mean, talk to somebody? I'm talking to you, aren't I? And everybody goes through hard times and gets depressed. There's not something wrong with me. And what do you mean a professional? Just because I haven't met the love of my life and haven't had tremendous success in my career like you have, doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. Never win first place. Don't support the team. Can't take direction, and my socks are never clean. Teachers dated me. My parents hated me. I was always in a fight, 'cause I can't do nothing right. Every day I fight a war against the mirror. Can't take the person staring back at me. I'm a hazard to myself. Don't let me get me. I'm my own worst enemy. It's bad when you ignore yourself. So irritating. Don't wanna be my friend no more. I wanna be somebody else. Doctor, won't you please prescribe me something? A day in the life of someone else. I waited for hours in this fluorescently lit room that felt like the 6th train. Crowded and desperate. Another head hangs lowly, child is slowly taken, and the violence caused such silence. Who are we mistaking? I shuddered as this scraggly older lady broke into a full-on childlike tantrum, just as my space was infringed upon by a very unkempt man. He smelled like zoo. As I noticed his shit-stained, saggy sweatpants, he called me sweetie really annoyed and maybe even a little judgmental of these people. But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are dying. But I didn't let them deter me. No. I stuck it out with therapy. Yeah, I stuck it out long enough to get a psychiatric assessment, which in the therapy world is kind of like employee of the month. That you've been there long enough and you get one. What's in your head? In your head, they're hopping, they're hopping, they're hopping. What's in your head? In your head, they're hopping, they're hopping, they're hopping. Hi, I'm Amanda Andrews. Huh. How many times a week do I drink? Well, it really depends. I mean, if I'm working a lot, I definitely drink probably 5 or more times a week. But if I'm working on a project that I really care a lot about, I might only be having 1 or 2 drinks a week, you know? And then, you know, if I'm going through a period of time where I have a lot of excess energy, I might have 1 scotch at home at the end of the night just to calm my nerves, but like, I don't get drunk, you know? It's just like to calm me down and help me get to sleep. And look, I know that alcohol is a depressant. So if I am bouncing back from a time where I feel very low, and I'm taking very careful measures to feel better, I usually don't drink at all. But if I do, in a desperate need to escape, it's a bender. So like, 1 night is probably worth like 8 nights. Would that be considered, you know what I mean? Like having 1 scotch at the end of the night, every night is almost like less drinking than like not drinking and having 1 rager, you know? Okay, so I guess I'd say, let's say on average, I drink 3 to 4 times a week. Or, you know, let's be generous. Let's say 5 or more times a week. Huh. That's a hard question. You know, I've always joked about having ADD because sometimes I can be really scattered and all over the place. But I can actually focus on something with tunnel vision if I'm in a certain headspace. But then there's the times where my mind is like a fucking press conference, just questions being interrupted with more questions and racing thoughts just crashing into each other, you know? But then, you know, I can remember the most minute details about situations or conversations. Like, okay, for instance, I'm doing a scene with this girl, and we were trying to figure out when to meet up and where and whatnot, and off the cuff, she mentioned something about how her roommate always leaves bad milk in the fridge, and she feels uncomfortable throwing it away because it's not her food, but it makes the refrigerator smell bad, and she's really sensitive to smell, and it got me thinking about, you know, when did I stopped buying milk. Like, I never buy milk. I stopped buying it because it is really annoying that you buy this big thing and then it just goes bad, like, after 2 or 3 days. Like, what's the point? You know, like, who uses that much milk unless you have, like, 8 boys that are growing? But, you know, so she told me this, and I kept thinking about her story, but I cannot for the life of me remember her name. Or what time I'm supposed to meet her. So, wait, I'm so sorry. What was the question again? Oh, right, how easily distracted am I? So, obviously, like, 7? 8. Let's say 8. Wait. Really? Just from these questions, you're able to give me a diagnosis and a prescription for a mood stabilizer? I'm sorry, this just didn't seem thorough enough at all for that type of a conclusion. I mean, Jesus, I feel like I just took a quiz in 17 magazine about what type of girlfriend are you? And because I answered mostly C's on the multiple choice, I'm the fun but soft-spoken type. I mean, this is what psychiatry is? I mean, a man who I've never before in my life met is going to read me a list of standardized questions and just spit out a diagnosis? I mean, that's serious. That's not like telling me what color would look best on me. I mean, don't you need to take an x-ray of my brain or something? I mean, does everybody that gets one of these things get a diagnosis? Like, do you have to match people with what the best fit for them is? Like, how did... Okay, you're right. But it also should not be this easy to get a mind-altering drug. I mean, Jesus... If I had known this 5 years ago, but I guess what I'm saying is I need some type of proof if I'm supposed to proceed in my life with the consideration of this disorder. So you can't give me any proof. I mean, you have to understand where I'm coming from. Like, what if I went to a doctor and he told me I was pregnant just by asking me how I felt without taking a urine sample or anything? Like this seems kind of crazy to me. Crazy. Yeah. Okay, so what you're saying is that this is just a speculation because you have no hard scientific evidence. Like a beggar with no luck, I'm holding signs up on your street corner stops. Like most, you try not to see me. Stare straight ahead, ignore your responsibility. Excuse me. Well, I've been waiting in line and I'd like to buy some of your time. I'm very anxious, eager, willing. What's your billing? The next week, when I went back to the clinic for my regular therapy appointment, the same disheveled lady was screaming and cursing about having to wait. And before I could judge her, I realized I was throwing a fit of similar magnitude inside, and I just wasn't letting it out. This is New York City. Nobody has time to wait. And before I could notice the unkempt man's hygiene, I caught a glimpse of my bed head in the mirror, and I started thinking about how to... Shit. I forgot to put on deodorant. What once irritated me about these people now made me feel this unsettling sympathy for them. Perhaps I was repelling this diagnosis because deep down I was afraid that one day I could become like one of them. Troubled, misunderstood, and alone. With your feet on the air and your head on the ground. Try this trick and spin it, yeah. Your head'll collapse, but there's nothing in it. And you'll ask yourself, where is my mind? Where is my mind? Where is my mind? Way out in the water, see it swimming. Debbie, as my therapist, I'll admit to you that of course I feel very alone in this life. But I actually have grown really accustomed to it. Like, I kind of love being alone, you know? Like, I go on all these crazy adventures by myself, and I go on long walks through Central Park, and I people watch the groups of friends having picnics, and the couples holding hands. And, you know, all the while I'm just blissfully in my own little world. And, you know, I pride myself on not needing anybody and on being independently happy. But every once in a blue moon, I stumble across a unique connection with somebody, and it sends me soaring. I don't care what people say, the rush is worth the price I pay. I get so high when you're with me, but crash and crave you when you leave. I think he's a nice guy. I wanted to date a nice guy for so long now. And I just feel like I have not a care in the world. Everything is so amazing. I'm so in love. I'm on cloud nine. Found myself today singing out loud your name. You said I'm crazy. If I am, I'm crazy for you. Sometimes sitting in the dark, wishing you were here, turns me crazy. But it's you who makes me lose my head. And every time I'm meant to be acting sensible, you drift into my head and turn me into a crumbling fool. Tell me to run and I'll race. If you want me to stop, I'll freeze. And if you want me gone, I'll leave. Just hold me closer, baby, and make me crazy for you. Crazy for you. maybe at any given point in time, the thing I'm most excited about is the next time I get to see that person. But I swear, I'm not the only one feeling this way. We're both in it. I've left my isolated days behind me, and I'm normal, after all. I keep on trying and fighting these feelings away, but the more I do, the crazier I turn into. Pacing floors and opening doors, hoping you'll walk through and save me, boy, because I'm too crazy for you. Okay, Debbie. You were right. These euphoric frenzies of mine were not sustainable. And in a matter of time, events have turned and my bliss is crumbling. And you know, while these other people move forward with their lives, I slowly try to piece mine back together. But the thing is, it's really no fault of these other people because chances are they didn't experience this crazy ride at the same intensity that I did. Or they did and it completely freaked them out. And while they move on, I slowly try to piece my life back together, feeling the emotional resistance of coming down off of a drug. My mind just struggling to bounce back to a world of less stimulation.